Alright, dude, I got these two motors sitting side by side here on my scrap bin, basically. This motor is the original motor out of, let me move my Carhartt coat out of the way a little bit. This is the original motor out of the milling machine. And I put the pulley off of it, you know, and see how the set screw is set down? Like can't get it out. Okay, well this one, set screw is set up. So this pulley needs to be recessed into the housing a little bit. So I'm going to have to go out on the lathe and make it like this one, because this one works perfectly on there. However, I wanted to upgrade from 3/4 to 2.5. So to do that, we're going to have to make it right. I don't want to mess with the original motor in case something goes haywire. With this, I can go back to this easily. I'm going to leave the bracket attached to the original motor. I'm going to just do a ditto, basically, with a bigger motor. Basically, I'm copying this to this bigger motor, but to do that, we're going to have to take the set screw loose. And we did get our keyway fit. I ended up having to go with an 1/8 inch keyway. This one has a 3 millimeter keyway, but I went with an 1/8 inch on this one. But that needs to be recessed down. The thickness, basically, of what you see there in the gap, it's about the thickness of a 1/4 inch washer. It has to sit to where the set screw hole is just sitting down there. I'll measure the washer. I set this one up on the machine, milling machine, and you have to shim it with 1/4 inch washers on both sides, and then the belt runs perfect. It's straight, but it wants to roll the belt the way it is, so let's fix that. Okay. And then that motor was pretty much done, other than the brushes, and we'll get to that. Alright, stay tuned for part 3. Okay, YouTube, we got it. And this is the original motor. You can see where the set screw is setting. It's just kind of where the edge of the set screw hole goes down in. Well, that's where we did with this one. We dittoed it. Sorry about the lighting, it's not the greatest. We dittoed it. It's perfect. And tested it, set it up on the mill, and it works perfect. So we got that end done. The pulley's done. The motor mount's done. You know, for the belt tensioner. We broke the back housing, but had another motor. Thank you, Corey. A buddy of mine brought me some treadmill motors. I gave him some money for some treadmill motors. He brought them to me, and we do have a back housing, and I'll show you what happened here. We're gonna have to do a little bit of see, this back housing broke, but there's the one that I just took off, and it's perfect. Clean it up a little bit, but there's a difference. And I'll show you what I mean. Set them side by side here. Side by side, okay. This is the original one. This is the one we need to use over here. Let's turn that around. Okay, and these are keyed, okay? There's a little key right here that it has to fit the casing so that it doesn't just sit and spin. So, see how this one only has one notch, and it's set inside of the lip of where the flange is? Okay, well, this one has 2 notches. Actually, there's 3. 2 and 3. And they are just a little too thick. The width of them are a little thick. So I'm going to take and sit and work these down to where they are a little thinner. But the bearing size is the same. Everything else is the same. Alright. Everything else is going to work just fine. So that's what we've got, and that's what we're going to do. I think it'll work great. Alright, so stay tuned. Love y'all. Thumbs up.